I stream. Let them know we live. All right. Let's see what we talking about. Everything straight there. Got the news track. I want to put it on this. I want to put the link on Discord too. Hey, 32 in the chat already. ASAP. What's good with y'all, man? Let me put this join in the Discord. Let me put this Discord link in the chat as well. Shout out to everybody in the stream. See y'all out there. It looks like I missed a bunch of the first comment I got is from Phoenix, but I'm on YouTube right now. What's good, y'all? True out there. Sauce, Chad, DMV, Dio, or Reckon, matter of fact. Charlie Lewis, Braden, Chucho, what's good? Empire Music, Caribbean RJ, what's good? And then I got the first comment from Phoenix. Millie, what's good? Coast to coast, the homies are out. Young Clips, Cap. What's good, y'all? Peace to you too, George. Peace to you too. Zidandara. Let me put this joint in there. Blessings, peace, and love, unity, and strength. Appreciate it, Young Clips. Appreciate all blessings, man. What up, MLF? What's good, y'all? Let me there's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. 2K devs admit they were overworked. What does that mean? What does that mean? What up, Mac? What's good? Newsday, yeah, definitely. I don't even got the game loaded up. I don't even have it loaded up. It ain't nice to load it up, but I'm chilling. Let me just get this Discord link in there. I'm waiting for you to put that suit on while I'm live streaming. Hell no. I don't wear a suit for gaming. It's just, I ain't putting on no suit for gaming. This is like my laid back life. 2K, playing 2K, that's my laid back side. Boss moves are done. Boss moves are taken care of when I'm off 2K. Pin message. Overworked. Yeah, man. What up, Talib? What's good? I gotta add Talib as a mod. Yeah, Talib as a moderator. Is there anybody else that I missed as a mod? Let me see if I missed anybody. I'm gonna, cause, hey, listen, if you're like really active in the stream and you're not a mod, let me know, because, or just reach out or something, because the chat that I see is not the normal YouTube chat where I see a little blue wrench, but sometimes I overlook it. So yeah, just don't second guess, just asking. Especially if you consider yourself active, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, so yo, 2K devs say, yeah, I think we all taking breaks off 2K. I hear that. Matchmaking on 2K solves all our problems. Proper matchmaking. Never mind, it says gameplay news. You sneaky? What do you mean? New follows. Chucho, appreciate it, man. Appreciate the follow. Vice out there. Where's the gameplay? Yeah, where is the gameplay, man? ASDF, what's goody? What up, y'all? But hey, what does 2K devs being overworked mean for us? For us as gamers? You feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, there's a new game you should try called Riders Republic. The beta ends Monday. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out, Mills. What up, Dwayne? What's good? Danny 2K. Damn, the homies are out. You so ready for 2K20? I'm so ready too. Yeah, so it eliminates the need to wait 30 minutes for another game. Proper matchmaking. Matchmaking is supposed to mean no AIs. Why do we have AIs in matchmaking? 2K need to give you your credit when opponents quit. That is definitely good. I think they do. In 2K21, we did receive. So, well, Rafael Rodriguez, I'm responding to his comment. Overworked on what? Because 2K's been trash for them to even think about being overworked. Well, it's a fact. Yeah, we'll go to the 2K news tracker. The employees are overworked. There's an employee at 2K, Mitchell Inkrop. I don't know if I jacked up his name or what. But he says, love getting attacked about it. And this is December 27th, 2020. Now, we know that was a while ago. But this is during the process of creation for 2K21 and throughout all these patches and everything. And he goes on to say, love getting attacked about events on Saturday night while, listen, overworked, homie's overworked. And I'm not doubting that he's overworked. I'm not trying to knock Mitchell. Shout out to Mitchell. He came through the stream one time before. But this is what he says. You guys just tell me. You tell me what you think about it, because I'm not going to really form an opinion. Love getting attacked about events on Saturday night while I'm watching football. It's hard to keep a straight face. The day after Christmas on vacation. After working 9 months of 11-hour days during a pandemic. Thanks, guys. You didn't want someone to listen. You wanted an outlet for your anger. So Super, what up? I don't think I'm going to be playing. Power Stance, what up? So listen, I get that. I feel for the person working 11 hours a day. It's not a good look. You don't have life balance. I get that. And maybe you lose perspective. Being that you're working so hard, you start to lose perspective on things because you're like, damn, I'm putting my life into this game. Or we'll go back into it so you guys can see. He is the let me move my I don't want to really move my webcam, but anyway, he is the creator. He works for creator marketing, just so you guys know. So it ain't like he's a dev working that hard, but he works for creator marketing. And if he's having to work that hard, I'm sure the devs are working just as hard as well. What a Spider-Verse was good. So I feel for the homies. Shout out to the 82 in the chat. I feel for the homies. I feel for anybody that has to work 11 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not doing something right. But what I mean to say is you lose perspective. When you work that hard and you're working for someone else, you end up losing perspective. You're like, how dare somebody come trying to take my head off? Because I'm sure they were trying to take his head off. He's like a public figure. People know him connected to 2K. He was involved with giving out logos and things of that nature. So people know him. So just like with Ronnie 2K, they're gonna come at the dude that disconnected with 2K. That bridges the gap between the community and 2K. They're gonna come at him. What I mean to say is, what I'm getting at here is that if you pay money for a washing machine, you pay money for central air unit, you pay money for a refrigerator. If that refrigerator goes out on you, you don't care what day of the week, what holiday it is. You don't care if them boys on vacation. You don't care. So we buy a product from 2K, we buy the game from we buy 2K, we invest money in our bills, we invest money to compete in events that 2K like blasts us with, puts it in our grill. The second we load up the game, it's right there in our grill. Come check out our event. So we get our players prepped for that. We invest our time, we invest our money. And then you go to the event center and the joint is, I mean, completely trashed, broken. The joint is broken. You feel what I'm saying? The joint is just broken. So what do you do? You go and you vent. You go and tell somebody, yo, like, why is this broken? I done wasted my whole week trying to get my player right to play in this event that you've been beating me in the head with for a week now. So I want to play the event. What's going on? So you lose perspective on like the consumer and service that you're providing. You lose perspective on that because you're working so hard. And why is it that a multi-billion-dollar company has their workers working so many hours? Things we got to consider, man. And then, you know, game's been broke since day one. What up, Vegeta? What's good? I never understood why they never let the legends, shout out to the 100 in the stream, that appear in practice facility my career games. That would be a great way of double or triple rep. You know, what up, Jacob? What's good? You know, there's so many weird things. Like we could go into this one as well. Shout out to Vice Envy, because Vice Envy is the one who gave me a lot of this information, and I was just like, wow. All right, let's go into the news tracker, because there's son. We could talk about anything you guys want to talk about, because I dropped a lot of TikTok videos on this stuff, covering this stuff. So you guys want to check out the TikTok to stay connected. I drop a lot of TikTok videos. There was something else here about the 6 to 8 weeks, which I dropped the video on, and I put a YouTube short as well out. Now I don't know if it's the Czar or the Caesar. I don't know if it's, but he's a popular 2K developer. And if you guys don't know, this is definitely interesting stuff. If you guys haven't heard this stuff yet, you definitely wanna stay posted, because this was interesting stuff. I watched the whole live stream through. This developer broke down defense. So this man, it's the first way he says, City, are they going to use the same jump shot bases and releases? It's going to be, you're going to have jump shot bases and releases. I don't know if it's the same. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of the same. I don't know if they're going to introduce new ones. I've been watching your YouTube for a while now. Now joining your Discord. Now checking you out on Facebook. Keep working. Appreciate you, Spider-Verse. Appreciate you holding down Facebook. But hey, I just find it hard. The game can be spammed due to overlook. Playmaker. It's the Czar, right? Not Caesar. Okay, the Czar. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's because I've heard them refer to him before, and I could have sworn I heard the Czar, but I didn't look it up. I just know him in particular. So I watched this whole live stream through, and he seems really committed, right? But he didn't work on this prior to the release of 2K21. And he's the one who's going to be taking care of defense for 2K22 as well. But he's taken over the defensive aspect of 21. He has, prior to the release, 6 to 8 weeks before the release of 2K21, they gave this developer, the Czar, defense. They say, you taking over defense. So he gets in, the man gets in. He's like, all right, let's see what's going on with defense. We had a developer. I don't know the name of the developer, but we had one developer working on defense for the last 6 to 7 years prior to the release of 2K21. Now we know how terrible defense is on 2K21. But when you hear the man speak about the things that he wanted to accomplish for defense, and he is straightforward. He didn't want to trash his 2K employee. He didn't want to trash the person that left the company. There was a developer that left the company that was working defense for the last 6 to 7 years, which is why we were sliding all over the place for the last 6 to 7 years. We were sliding all over. for the last 6 to 7 years. So the czar comes in and he takes over defense. He has 6 weeks prior to the release of 2K21. And he's going to be working on 2K22 defense. And hearing him talk, hearing his commitment, hearing his logic, you could tell that he understands how defense is supposed to function. And he understands also that there's certain limitations. Although he says the system is extremely intricate. He says there's a lot that he could actually accomplish with the system in place, but the previous developer just didn't accomplish it. He intends to accomplish this stuff. But like as he put it, he says that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take him a little while to get this stuff rolled out because it's such an intricate system that you can really commit. And a lot of things have to do with timers and things of adjusting. There's a lot involved. So, and he intends to make things happen for defense. So, I think he used to work on offense because he did say in that live stream, if you like what I did on offense, then you're going to love what I'm going to do with the defense. So that was good because I think everyone could agree the offense is overpowered. The offense was extremely overpowered. I think everybody could agree with that. So what's a little while? We don't know what's a little while. We don't know what's a little while, but you know, like I said, hearing him talk, if you hear him speak, he seems really committed to what he's doing. And he's taking those little, like, he's taking in those little minute details, which I really appreciate. He was actually showing it on screen, you know, everything that he was trying to accomplish, and he was showing the players moving, and showing their timing and things of that nature. So he seems really committed. But again, if there's this thing that 2K21 or the 2K dev team was the only team to release a game, a full version of an annual release game for next gen. So we got to talk about that, because if they were the only team, shout out to the 132 in the chat, if they were the only development team to release a full version of that game, an annually cycled game, keep that in mind, a game that releases every year, then this means that they had to cut into the schedule for 2K22. And what does that mean? What are we going to receive for 2K22? When was the live stream? It was, you might have to hit me up in Discord. It was a while back. I could probably pull it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I don't want to. It was November of 2020. The Czar. Just go to the Czar. He has some great information in there. So if they cut into the schedule for 2K22, and we got 2K21, we got the experience of 2K21 with that mess that is 2K21. Not saying for lack of effort. I think the devs kind of take things personal. I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you guys think the devs take things personal? Because I don't think gamers are like trying to come at the devs' head, but it's like, yo, we already had something. Why are you giving us this when we already had something special? There's another, let me see if I could pull it up, because there's another comment in reference to that. Yeah, here we go. I think this is it right here. I'm going to pull it up right now on the news tracker. Same guy. This guy, Mitchell, man. Same guy, Mitchell. The 2K community is the most nostalgic group of people I ever met. A group that wishes no evolution because past games were perfect, but still want new rep rewards, parks, dribbling and animations, etc. every year. Is that hard? Is that hard to understand? Is that hard to understand? Does that That makes perfect sense to y'all. If I was a developer, I'd be like, that's fantastic. Go pull the archives out for 2K16. Go pull whatever we did for 2K16. Pull that back. Let's get the game back to how 2K16 was. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but let's get the game back to that. If I'm a developer, let's get it back to that, remaster that, and then just add new rep rewards, add new dribbling animations. Because the community is saying, you already gave us great. What is all of this other stuff? You already gave us great. Because it's not ready. Yeah. So you guys got to keep in mind as well. It's true, like Danny was saying, you know, we think about it, it's like if they cutting into the cycle for 2K22, they have less time to make 2K22, although they are promoting a ton of changes. And I hope all of those changes come to fruition. I really do. I'm really trying to keep my fingers crossed and remain optimistic that everything happens as it's supposed to and as they said. But the fact is, they're having a shorter development cycle for 2K22. And, you know, you just got to wonder if they had full development cycles and we received 2K18 in the past, what does that mean? And now we just received 2K20, 2K21. What does this mean for 2K22? And keep in mind that, you know, the reason why we're not getting a demo is because they said, this is 2K saying, you're not getting a demo because we want to make sure the game is fully functional on release. Hearing about the game, but what about their servers? Yeah. What about the servers? Holla at me. What about the servers? Like, the servers going to be able to handle everything they're trying to put together? Are the servers going to be able to handle you guys playing the game? Like playing a part game? And then there's a bunch of NPCs roaming around shopping. They said there's going to be kids playing football, people shopping. The server's going to be able to, the servers could not handle a video playback of Ticino, although that joint used to get me annoyed, because then while you're in the game, it'll come on super loud. It was just really obnoxious. I'm not knocking Ticino. Ticino is one of my favorite players, but that shit was like really obnoxious. It was just really annoying. I didn't really like it. But the servers couldn't handle that playback. How are they gonna handle all these NPCs roaming around? Obvious answer, no. The game seems to get worse every year. Sheldon Simmons. What up, Sheldon? What's good, bro? Dev is dumb talking about we don't want evolution. I mean, I made a good game. Yeah. Let's go back to the news tracker. Let's reread this statement. There's Mitchell. Mitchell is not a developer. Keep that in mind. But he is one of those 2K employees that bridge the gap between the community and the devs. He has been involved with logo distribution. He goes on to say the 2K community is the most nostalgic group of people I ever met. Basically saying, why can't we accept the new game? Keep that in mind, y'all. He's basically calling us nostalgic because we stay focused on the older versions of 2K. There's a reason why we stay focused on the older versions of 2K. These young folks don't want to be nostalgic. It's an insult to call a young person nostalgic. Nowadays, young folks ain't trying to be nostalgic. What's fact is fact. The older games are much better. A group that wishes for no evolution. Nobody ever said we don't want evolution. Nobody ever said that. Foundation, y'all. Like the foundation. 2K16 is a great foundation. Build upon that foundation. Don't wipe it and then give us something new. When we ask for affiliations, don't penalize us for exploring what affiliations are. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna penalize us for exploration. You're gonna penalize us for exploring the city. You want us to walk up to an opposing affiliations court and just look at it? That don't make no sense. That's like, is not considering the actual user. It doesn't really. It's almost like a slap in the face. That's how it kind of feels. Gameplay was what people wanted. Gameplay was what people wanted. We didn't ask for all this. Put me in a big city. We didn't ask for that. I'm sure a lot of people would have been happy with the like NBA Live type of logic, where they take you to a court, and it's one of those dope courts too. Like you going to Rucker Park. You feel what I'm saying? They take you to those courts, and you just right into the game. I think a lot of people would have been happy with that. I know a lot of people like neighborhood, and they like. I know there's a lot of like. Let me not even get toxic, but there's a lot of people who like to dance. so I'm sure there's room for that too. But I was just about to get a little toxic. I didn't want to do that. Future Billionaire, appreciate the sub. Glow was good. John D, what up? We asked for affiliations like Sunset, Rivet, Old Town, not a remix. Yeah, they remixed them joints. You can't, if the community is asking for affiliation, I think they did decent. But the penalty really hurt affiliations. The mayors and how they set up mayors really hurt affiliations, because you had Ticino out there and everybody wanted to be on Beast of the East. Ticino just came off the 2K20 year carrying. Ticino just came off of 2K20. The biggest thing in 2K20 was wagers. You make him a mayor, everybody's going to go with Ticino. I went Beast of the East because I'm from the East and I like Ticino. Yes, sir. It's bakers out there, so they gotta get it right, man. If you're introducing affiliations, you should know hands down. If your game is a community-based game, if it's a community-based game, you should know hands down. You shouldn't penalize people that want to explore, especially when it's the first year that you present us with this super large city to explore. Doesn't make no sense. And I know their logic was well, we want to keep the hype for the rival day. So they wanted to keep hype for rival day, and that's why they penalized you, so you could play on rival day, you could go to the other court. And it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. I appreciate the follow, DH Baller. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the homies that keep the stream lit up. 186 in the chat. Turn us up. Man, opinion on new badges. We have 5 new badges. We want evolution in gameplay, like collision logic, more absolute animation control, facts. But we have 5 new badges that they introduced to us. I appreciate the sub, Claude. But in that In that image that they showed us, that player only had 16 playmaking badges. They may very well be more playmaking badges, but if it was 5 that they showed us, you could bet that we're gonna have at least 5 per category. If it's additional 5 per category, if they did indeed show us the only 5 new badges for playmaking, that's like 20 additional badges. I don't want to see new badges in the game until they fix the old badges that are already in the game. I don't want to see a badge cover up for poor coding in their animations. I don't want to see a badge just cover that up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not showing that gameplay. And it looks like 2K might very well do that. I think they needed to kind of, maybe they didn't have the time this year. Maybe they didn't have the time to kind of really go into similar to what the Czar said. The Czar said he had 6 to 8 weeks. Now, mind you, there's a developer working on the game for the last 6 or 7 years, working on defense. And there's another thing that's really annoying. Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out for a second. There's another thing that's really annoying. You have a developer working on the game for the last 6 to 7 years. And we have had like good years like 2K19, 2K20 defense. It was good years, but you still had sliding. So not the new developer, but one of the developers new to the defensive end, the Czar, takes on control of defense because that developer left the company that was working on it for 6 to 7 years. When he gets on, he sees all these things that are messed up. And he's saying, but we have like, the program is so, how do you say, it's a large program that you can make things happen with. You know what I'm saying? He basically saying that it's a real intricate program, but you just got to put in the work to make things happen. And from the way in which he saw everything, he said it could happen. He's like confident that he could bring defense back to 2K. As he's saying, it's just going to take him time. But what I'm more so referring to here is that why isn't there any checks and balances? Why is there just one developer working on such a large portion of what makes up basketball in defense? And there's no checks and balances. This thing should go through multiple development cycles, and then gameplay testers, and then back into a development cycle after getting feedback from gameplay testers who have tested it for a good enough time to figure out all the flaws. Yeah, better defense push players to be better on offense. Facts. Better defense forces players to rely on their team. Having better defense out there forces players to play as a team, strategize as a team. It brings strategy back into the game where coaching comes back into play. Not saying you need a coach on the team, but you need a leader that's able to lead and create those plays. And the team, it's a chess match. That's what you want to play out there. It's 2K21 was checkers. We want to take it back to chess. That's what basketball is. And maybe not so much. Maybe not so much for Park. Maybe not everybody wants to. Listen, I understand people work crazy. Yeah, I'm copping it day one. Yeah, it's already copped. I already pre-ordered. Yo, AC, Wagwan, Rafa. What up? Saw the video, man. Appreciate you, Rafa. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, you know we out here. 204 in the chat. Let's get it, Coachy. Let's get to 300 today. Because we speaking facts. We speaking big facts, man. Late night vibes, late night Saturday vibes, man. We have quick first step badge for defense. Word up. Why we can't have that? Why we can't have a quick first step badge for defense? So, speaking about that, I was going over on 2KW. They have like a list of when I created a TikTok video about it. But I was going over their list of the 10 new gameplay improvements, new confirmed gameplay improvements. And they were talking about defense and how on next gen you're going to have the foot planting technology. Please, somebody tell me in the chat. What up, God Soldier? What's good? Hey, thank you, Black Belt, Petty Melt. Hyperdrive makes me nervous. Big facts. But somebody tell me what's the foot planting technology in 2K21. Listen, I'm happy we don't got sliding all over the place in 21. But what's the difference? What's happened in 2K21's defense now? So that now that you're no longer sliding, and they called it foot planting technology, they should might as well call it you walking in mud technology or you're in quicksand technology. Because it makes you nervous. It makes you nervous, man. Like, how do you go from sliding to being stuck in the mud and then you label it foot planting technology? That's not going to work, Coachy. We are not... Listen, 2K devs, we are not nearly as dumb as y'all look. Not even nearly. Stop the nonsense. Be real about it. Shout out to Czar, man, because watching that video allowed me to get, like, watching his live stream allowed me to get a better understanding of a developer at work and that really cares about what's happening. Because, you know, being that we're on the outside looking in and we don't neither, probably there's a lot of us, I don't know if anybody in the chat knows like what it takes to create a video game with something like 2K, because EA couldn't figure it out. EA to this day can't figure it out. So, you know, 2K stands alone, and I know we want to put a lot of pressure on them, but neither one of us know what it takes to create something like that. But hearing a developer, and we get frustrated because we already had greatness, and, you know, we want to see that come back, and developers just change it. As almost as if they take our complaints to heart, and they say, similar to like Mitchell and Croc, you know, we'll go back to the news tracker, similar to this comment up here. I'll bring up my mouse. You know, nobody says that we don't want evolution. We want evolution, but foundation needs to remain the same. Basketball is basketball. Foundation is there, but does it mean that the NBA still looks like it looked 30 years ago? No. Doesn't mean that. There's evolution, but the foundation of the game is there. So it take a badge that did more than one thing and then separate it into two badges. They've been doing this. That's big facts. A good friend I went to school with worked on 2K engine in the past. He said the design is very dated. Look at that, Chris Samao. Gameplay still needs to be solid with or without evolution. Big facts. That's just like big. 215 in the chat. Go crazy. Go crazy, yeah. I appreciate all the support, man. All the support, yeah. If y'all on YouTube, the Discord link is pinned if you guys would like to join our great gaming community. We continue these type of conversations throughout the day, even when I'm not live stream, but I definitely appreciate y'all joining the live stream. Do you think NBA 2K22 will be good? It's hard. It's hard to say if 2K22 is going to be. It's hard to say. It has potential. It has potential with everything that they're giving us. You try not to focus, because 2K, they're marketing experts. So you try not to focus on everything they're telling you. You consider the fact that they're in a shorter development cycle. How much change can we actually see? And I think this is going to be one of those revealing years, because let's keep in mind, I've mentioned this before. Yeah, I talked about this before. Let's keep in mind that the last time we had a really bad 2K, like 2K21 was, we had 2K18. And 2K answered back with 2K19. So after the community went up, like they were in an uproar, they were riffing, they were just like chewing 2K's head off, just like, we don't like what's going on. What the hell is this? They were vocal. They responded with 2K19. And 2K, I think universally people feel like 2K19 was a pretty solid game. I think the community was even more vocal and even more harsh with 2K21. And I think it got out to more masses, like it got out to way more people, because some really big names in the community said this joint is probably the largest name. What's that dude? What's his name? Aiden, is it? I don't know if I'm mistaken of the name, but one of the largest gamers just completely crapped all over 2K and 2K21. So I mean, hopefully they answer back. So there's potential that if we follow trends and we follow the history, we could see that there is some potential for 2K22 to really be a good game. And maybe the devs got pressure into like dropping something super official. Telling the truth about gameplay, saying 2K22 was good, or was he lying about it? Don't even know. How did 2K mess two games? How did they mess up two games? It's hard. I think 2K will be the start of something special moving forward. It's possible, man. It's definitely possible. I like to remain optimistic. I'd like to remain optimistic that 2K is gonna be like I want to wipe this like greasy looking. It's the lotion. I want to remain optimistic that 2K has potential to be a decent game, and we're just not gonna know until that joint drops. We got a ton more information that they're finna give us. Next week is gonna be a big week. I think we're supposed to be seeing my team and gameplay, or gameplay information. Hey, Lone Star, appreciate the sub, man. That's dope, man. Twitch Prime, that's dope. Appreciate y'all, man. Pesos. All they need to do is make the game with good defense. And I know people feel like that, and the devs can't understand why people feel like that. Like, just give us a damn good game. That's what most people are saying. Just give us a damn good game. And the devs can't understand that, and they end up taking things personal. One, because they're overworked, like we found out. We can go to the news tracker here. Because they're overworked, they're kind of sensitive. So, we'll get this comment here. I didn't want to do that. Because they overwork, they're kind of sensitive. The Next Makers, Vice Next Makers is an opportunity to partner up with 2K, and this is with all of their titles. If you're a content creator for any one of 2K's gaming titles, you can go on 2K on Twitter, go on their Twitter page, and they have a post for becoming a Next Maker. They're calling it a Next Maker, and it's a partnership program with content creators. Now, there's not much detail on what's involved. I'm gonna go through the process to see. I highly doubt I would accept anything, but I'm gonna go through the process. You fill out an application, and they give you a questionnaire, basically asking you about your brand and things like if you have an LLC, things like that. And I want to see the process, make sure the numbers are right. And don't get me wrong, the numbers are right and they have no influence over my content creation, I would consider it. but that's not the 2K way. So I highly doubt there'll be any moving forward from me. We'll just see what happens. But it's a partnership program. You'd be perfect for the job, City. YouTubers are gonna break the game or find the glitchy builds. Well, I intend to as well, and that's not us breaking the game. Yeah, I think that's where people get things confused. If a content creator is able to figure out an overpowered build, the game is broken before release. That's not our. This is what 2K is supposed to be doing before releasing the game. If you say you want balance, you should know every single option of. You should know every single build possibility before you release the game. So that way there's no shock as to something being overpowered. There's no shock when the 2K community finds out that there's power forwards that get this many more badges and can do everything. The game is broken before release. The 2K community is just good at exposing 2K flaws. You can't. The community cannot be blamed for that. I don't see it. Help me understand if I'm mistaken. Help me understand, because I'm not really trying to, it's just, I see it from a business perspective. I know something's flawed. I would try and fix it. If I know my product is flawed and I'm so close to being great, I would do my best to get to great. I wouldn't regress. I promise you. There's no way that I would regress. If I had 2K16, and although we were still going through, hey, what up, Thomas Dunn? Was good. If I had 2K16, and then we wanted to try some new things, so we made 2K18, and 2K18 was a complete failure. And then I don't see that it probably wasn't a failure in 2K's eyes, because, I know they more so think about money. But from the user perspective and the 2K gamer, it was more of a failure. I would lean back toward 2K16 way. I would eventually lean back. So they make 2K19, and that was okay. And they're like, well, it's not a 2K16, but it's a 2K19, and that's dope. So then they dropped 2K20 with the same looking park, and that was pretty much the main complaint from 2K gamers. It was just like, yo, why do we get the same park? Like, what is going on? They give us new tiles. Like, what is going on? That was the main complaint. You notice that it wasn't really about gameplay for 2K20. It was just, why are we looking at the same thing? So yeah, that's how they could have evolved 2K16, by adding a better builder system. With the amount of legitimate 2K content creators, is wild that they do not utilize them in testing and development. It's big facts. And they could utilize them for free, which is insane. You already get free marketing, free publicity from a ton of content creators. And you could use it. You could use them to test the game. Give the game to Steezo, for crying out loud. Give it to him a month. Give it to him 2 months in advance. Before release. Not even before release. Give it to him 2 months when you got a solid product. So you say, you come to a conclusion that this is what I want dribbling to be. As a developer, come to a conclusion. All right, this is what we want dribbling to be. Let's give it to Steezo. And let Steezo show you where you went wrong. Because he's going to show you anyway. He's going to show you anyway. And then the community, you're going to get the backlash from the community. Imagine if EA had 2K powers for the basketball. Because it's true, though. The hop stepping and fading made 20. Yeah, the hop stepping was pretty wild. I had a two-way slashing playmaker, so I was hop stepping a lot. Yeah, if EA had 2K powers, because EA has some great ideas and they really make the game look nice, but the animations, if you're like really a 2K gamer, you look at the animations, you're just like, damn, I didn't like that type of thing. 20 had its downsides, but the defense builds were legit. Yeah, you know, the problem that I have is I feel the same way. Like even in 19, 20 had its downsides. And I was able to play 20 a lot. If you guys don't know, if you're in the stream, I hit legend on 2K20. So I played the game a lot. But you're just thinking that there is no way it could get worse. You at that time, you're thinking there's no way that the game could get worse. And then you get 21. Then it's almost like, oh man, you can't be serious, coachy. 2K too busy. What heck? 2K has no competition, so they do whatever. We legit don't get park news until the week of release. That's wild, though. That is wild. What's up, City? Why isn't there a whole team? What up, Supersonic? No game will be perfect, but those games are fun. Yeah, and I think that's where they're missing the fun factor. You see, so put it like this. So I think 2K said, and this is where I think there's a disconnect. The crazy part about all of it is rarely I hear any complaints from professional 2K players. I quit 21 in a couple months. Yeah. Well, comp 2K player, it's not fact. You barely see comp 2K players on 2K21. Maybe the 2K League players won't have no complaints publicly, but they'd complain. Listen, if we're complaining, they're complaining. And I'm sure it goes all the way up to like the coaching staff. Like, what in the world? We're trying to run this simple play. Why we can't run it? Because we done seen some of the wildest. And there's more so. There's a theory that's been going on for a couple years throughout the 2K community. There's a rumor, and I'll just put it at that. A rumor that 2K changes the sliders at the end. And I would love to hear from a developer on this. But there's a rumor that 2K changes the sliders at the end of an annual cycle to make the game feel worse. So that way you're more inclined and you have a greater anticipation for the next release. You're more inclined to buy the new game and you have a greater anticipation for it because the experience that you're having is unfavorable on the current game that you're playing before the new release. So the last time I got on 2K, we were witnessing like the most goofiest stuff, just like out of this world goofiness. And you're like, there's no way. The game was not even like this a month ago. Why are we seeing this now? And it kind of leads you toward thinking that way. Like, could you really be doing that? Messing with sliders and messing with the game? Because this app, it just stuff don't make no sense. You can't play any comp games in current gen. You can't play comp in current gen because they got the Zens and they got the speed boost and play shots and in next gen you can't play like competitively because it's almost like anyone could win on next gen. Well, I was gonna say like they made offense so easy on next gen because I think they thought that the community really wanted. I think they confused fun. I think they got there's a disconnect there of what the community thinks is fun. And I don't know why there's confusion because we had cages and there was gamers who love cages, but that they were like by far the minority of 2K players were in cages. So with that said, I think what I'm getting at here is that cages is the more arcadey type of and let me show y'all something too, because now that we're talking about that, just so there's no confusion here about prior to the release of 2K, let me show y'all something because this is interesting. Want something, the community wants something different. Because there's definitely a this is where Mike Wang sent out the poll asking if we wanted a more arcadey type of game. We're just gonna see if we can find the copying bills, but also that wasn't that. I know that one. 2K employee asks third party. I made a video about it. We could talk about it too if y'all want to. Let's see what this is. Yeah, here it goes. So Mike Wang asked the community. Been seeing a lot of comments about this. Curious what the rest of the community thinks. On a scale of 1 to 10, how arcadey, in quotes, should park play be? Reply and tell me what you want park gameplay to look like in the future. 50% said somewhere in between a sim, like real life, and cartoon over the top. Said 50%. 29% said cartoony over the top, but somewhere in between was 50%. So it was like the 2K community, and they understand they're not looking for like an unbalanced type of game. They're not looking for something that don't make sense. People want gameplay to feel fun, but it's not fun. Don't mean you take away defense. That's not fun. That's an aspect of the game. There's players who want to play defensively. Fun don't mean great offense only. Cap said, we want simulation basketball. Let rec be pickup games and pro-am be the comp area. 19 interior defense was so weird. Sometimes I feel like my presence was non-existent, but when 20, it was the opposite. Like you get 2% contest and you miss the layup. Yeah, that was the Intimidator badge was going crazy. Yeah, I think they should separate that. I don't mind park. They can't make park like cages. They want their arcadey stuff, then have an arcadey place like cages. Park is gonna be a little bit more balanced than cages, and you're like going through different types of players. Some players just want to have a goofy time. Maybe they're out there drinking and they're chilling with the homies, or they just want to chill and be light. No competition, no type of competitiveness. They go into cages. I get that. But then, you know, if you want a little bit more seriousness in a 3v3 type of game, you go into the park. And then when you want real comp, you go into pro-am or anti-up. Had to be on purpose, City. No way 2K removed defense like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it had to be on purpose, bro. I think another issue is the community isn't given a clear answer when those questions are posted, like arcade. Yeah. How, like, isn't that subjective? It's subjective to just mention arcadey, and there's no elaboration. And this is what happens with the lack of transparency from 2K. This is what happens with the, you know, the patch notes that we get. There needs to be a little bit more respect from the development team toward the community, in a sense. And I'm not saying they owe us something. I just mean to say, hear what we're saying. Just hear us. We're not shallow. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we're not shallow. We're not giving 2K empty complaints. It's like there's a foundation for these complaints over the years. There's a foundation there. If you just put your ego to the side, and I know the ego is built off of all them long hours them devs are investing, but that's not our problem. That's your boss's problem. If you don't have it in you to say, yo, y'all need to hire some more people, then stay mad at your boss. But you don't ever get upset at the consumer, and you don't ever take it out on the consumer. We're the ones who are actually paying you. So in that sense, in the sense of that word, that's, you gotta step back a little and say, well, let me hear what they're saying. And I know 2K is trying. I get it. I know I'm not trying to be hard on 2K, but when we got 2K21, it was the experience and the gameplay mechanics for 2K21 told me, y'all not hearing us. Y'all can't be hearing us, because then nobody asks for this. I think I feel you, Imperious. They owe those guys who had the amusement park affiliation back. I think I feel you on that. Like, there's a people that want a lot of different things, but over the years, just like I'm able to gather a lot of information and kind of create an overall idea of what the good majority of the community would like to see, that's what you lean towards. The good majority of the community would like to see this. Create some balances for that, like offering cages for the person who just really gets on 2K when his family comes over on the holidays and they just want to go into cages and go crazy. You feel what I'm saying? You offer more scenario based type of game modes, and you picture that by picturing the gamer. I've been a gamer damn near my whole life, so I know all the different scenarios that you could end up in as a gamer. And it's just like, if you could picture those scenarios, you could accommodate the community and the consumer that's in front of you. And the consumer comes in so many different comes from all over the world and different walks of life. But you understand that, and I know they're trying. I'm not saying that they're not. I know they're trying, but 2K21 experience, gameplay mechanics just felt like, hold on, what happened? That we wasn't saying this. We wasn't saying 2K21. I don't know. 21 years seems like enough time to get your game right. Defense equals a perfect game. Shout out to Biggest Gamer. Appreciate you. 208 in the chat. They got Blacktop for that too. Yeah, look at, they got Blacktop. Be hard on them, because there are people who create great game content alone and it looks great. Yeah. I mean, when you see, this is why 21 is wrong to me. Nobody asks for a new city. Nobody asks for that. I think we wanted, if anything, and you guys let me know if you agree. I think, what up, Keenan? Was good. I think a good majority of the community would have preferred, if they could trade off now, you say, give us better gameplay mechanics than a city. If you could trade off now. So when you see the developers put a ton of their energy into creating a city, something aesthetic, and then you see the gameplay take like a few, not one baby step back, take like a few, like they had Fat Joe playing in the background. They just took too many steps back. And it was like, hold on, how could you take, we didn't even ask for the city. Why are you taking so many steps back in gameplay? So that's where things get frustrating. As a veteran, again, I'm a veteran of the 2K franchise. And I'm not just saying that. I've been playing since the very first release on Dreamcast, every single 2K. So I seen the evolution. I seen what it was done. And I have, man, too many games played online. This is the first year. 2K21 is the first year that I actually put down and then it played throughout the whole annual cycle. And I just put it down. That says a lot. I went through 2K18. I hit Legend on 2K20. It says a lot, and 21 was that much of a disappointment to me. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm really hoping that's not the case for 22. I know they have a shorter development cycle. I understand that. I understand they have a shorter development cycle, but it's like Vice just said. 2K21 Next Gen was so worse. But it's like Vice just said. You had 21 years experience. There should be backlogs and, you know, archives of things you could pull from to say, listen, we want this, we want that, we want this. Let's add this, let's get this going, and pull those things all together. The old heads own 2K. Don't forget. Yeah, it's the first 2K ever deleted as well. Is during its annual cycle, like in the middle of the cycle, is the first 2K I ever deleted off of my system. And it's unfortunate, man. They only updated it for a ban wave or if there's some exploit glitch. Hey, I appreciate you, Tyquil. Appreciate you. Facts. Dreamcast. Yeah, Dreamcast was it, El Nino. They should hear what people want. And they try. Listen, they try. But then you see something like this where you see something like this post here. Hear me out. Hear me out for a second. You hear something like this. Love getting attacked about events. Now, this is not a sensitive mind to the consumer. If they were clear, if they only worked their 8 hours, they'd be able to properly respond to the consumer base. But being that they're overworked, working 11 hours for 9 months straight, he says he sends out, he's a representative of 2K. He works for 2K. He was involved in logo distribution. He was an employee that bridged the gap between the 2K community and the developers, and he sends out this tweet saying, love getting attacked about events on Saturday night while I'm watching football. The day after Christmas, on vacation after working 9 months of 11-hour days during a pandemic. Thanks, guys. You didn't want someone to listen. You wanted an outlet for your anger. So he was pointing the finger at people complaining about what's wrong with the game. And there's talking about events. And being that he's overworked, he can't even sit back and say, well, maybe there is something wrong. If I'm getting tons of like tweets saying, what's wrong with your event? Why isn't your event starting? Why can't I get my event rewards? You know, if you weren't working 11 hours a day, you'll be able to sit back and say, oh, hold on, let me holler at little Mikey. Yo, Mikey, what's good? Like, yo, there's something wrong with the event, Mikey. And they can't see that because they're overworked. That's just unfortunate, you know, because it's a multi-billion-dollar company. And like I was saying before, it's not for you to get upset at the consumer and point the finger at the consumer that's telling you that something's wrong. It should be, thank you for telling me what's wrong. We're checking on it right now. You don't publicly release stuff like this. I don't know. There's something wrong with that. I know an employee in my company would never. I know that would never happen. Or else the person will be fired the next day. I know that much. But, you know, you're losing sight of who's actually paying. Why you're losing sight. It's not, we purchase a product. And I don't want to be so technical about it, but it's this facts, this basic business is like, yo, we purchased the product. Give us what we supposed to get, or at least what you advertised. Give us that. Give us at least that. And if you put more, then that's just, you know, an added benefit. But give us what you advertise, and then you won't have people at your neck, and you won't be getting chewed out or getting forced to work by your bosses and then chewed out by the people you're working for, or you're working to provide a service for. I'm kind of worried and excited. We have no clue what the bill system will be. 200% money that a lot of people spend will waste it trying to find the right build. I think that's accurate. People are going to be wasting a lot of money trying to find the right build, and I think 2K likes to, like, they like the idea that they don't provide as much transparency as they should, because that only forces people to invest more money in VC trying to figure it out themselves. 2K18 was great. That comment ends right there. 2K is a very big franchise. If they are overwhelmed, they need more devs. That's how I feel. Please don't waste your money on bills. Be patient. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think they're too big a franchise to not have. Like, they should have. You see them all over the place, connecting with NBA players, connecting with celebrities. It's like, all right, so now connect with your community and put some of these resources into the game so people aren't overworked. Hey, appreciate you, Air Stampede. Appreciate you. I just want to see the gameplay. No speed glitch, no more crash, better defense, and these kids are gonna crumble. Listen, I like skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind skill at all. You know, I like Mike Wang said things are going to be more skill based. So I like the idea of creating a more skill based game. And maybe you do need to have the park, or let us know if you're going to make the park arcadey. Let the community know. Let us know what the park is going to be like. Say, if you just want this, is this simple? Send out a tweet saying, if you want a more arcadey type of experience, go to the park. If you want a more simulation type of experience, go into the rec center. If you want a more competitive type of experience, go into Pro-Am. Say that. Send out a tweet saying exactly that. So that way people aren't confused when they go into the park and they're trying to play competitive ball. It directs traffic. You know, people know where to go. But we got matchmaking coming up, and we got to figure out if matchmaking is going to function properly. They haven't been able to get matchmaking right in quite a few years. You think about the tent events and all the lagging and the latency. Some of the events in 2K21 in the event center just completely broken. Rec center matchmaking, we're playing AIs 90% of the time. So I'm hoping that they're able to get some of this matchmaking stuff right, because I cannot go into matchmaking and the promise of matchmaking, and the reason why they added matchmaking, and this is from the executive producer, he said we want to make sure that the person that's pretty much working a good majority of the time and just wants to get on the game, the person that just wants to get on 2K and get a game quickly has that option. If we're playing against AIs, what's the difference between like matchmaking and going into a my career game? They need to make sure that thing works. It's crazy how I enjoyed 2K18 more than 21. I was able to play 2K18 all the way through, and I can say that much. And I like the idea that they had 2K18 had the shirt maker, so that was pretty dope. Shirt creator. I did think Next Gen 21 did a good job on the whole I didn't play WNBA this year. I didn't even try it. I just tried my team at the end, and I thought it was pretty dope, so we're looking forward to getting into my team. I hated playing with AI. The other team can just cheese in the wreck and win. The streamers have to deep dive all the badges and explain stat placement because the devs seem to not know themselves. Well, you know, it's hard because I intend to do the same thing, but it's hard to deep dive until we get a good enough experience with gameplay. And what often happens is you start deep diving on badges and attributes and how things can be set up, and 2K will release a patch with vague patch notes and everything starts all over again, because these patches completely change the game and player builds that are viable. So you once had a player build that was a viable option for the game that was in front of you, and then they drop a patch, and now that build is no longer an option. You know, things like this don't make sense. As 2K said, they didn't say if mayors are going to be back, and I'm curious about that myself. I've been even trying to check out some of the previous mayors to see if they've even slipped up, trying to say, or see if anybody's slipped up saying they're going to be the first mayor, but I haven't seen anything. If you disconnect, you can't do anything but rejoin the match you disconnected from. That's not a bad idea. I think there's some like shooter games that do that. Hella interesting stuff, man. There's a lot going on with 2K that we just want to see them. We want to see a lot of things that they say come to fruition. We want to make sure that it's not another capping type of year. Basic mechanics of joining your friends, things like that need to function properly off rip. Bring back arenas and Pro-Am. The Pro-Am, I wish 2K would have more detailed info on stats and badges. I wish the same thing. Why is there no transparency in that? They need to be more transparent with that. And I know they think they're being transparent, but when you put a badge on a Hall of Fame, or when you work, let's say you grind, you say you get the badge on silver and then you grind the badge to Hall of Fame, and you don't see a noticeable difference from a silver badge or a silver tier or silver level to a Hall of Fame level, there's something wrong with that badge, right? And this is why descriptions are really vague, because I don't even think 2K really understands the difference between a silver and a Hall of Fame, and how there should be like a super drastic change. Whether that's attaching an animation, whether it attaches something to silver, something to bronze, something else to silver, something else to gold, something else to Hall of Fame. If they were transparent with that, badges would make a lot more sense. But they can't be transparent because I don't think they really know everything that goes in. Now we're just getting more badges. It's not a good look. Money hungry companies will never give us what we want. The richer we make them, the lazier they get. Mr. Hers was good. They seem to be focused on gimmicks like playing on cruise ships, gameplay. Yeah, it feels like if we follow the trend and we remember the history, we got 2K18, then they gave us 2K19. 19 was a hit. So I want to try and stay optimistic that I don't think the community's ever been as vocal as they were on 2K21 and how poor that game was. So hopefully this year they give us a hit, and that's why they're really working hard to give us some, like It's Bake said, this is going to be the start of something special. So hopefully it's a gimmick and there's a foundation there to work from. Because 21 can't serve as a foundation. There's no way that 21 can serve as a foundation. So hopefully they could start with a foundation, and then we can build from there. In 13 days, 2K community is going to be in shambles because 2 new games and a bunch of content creators dropping like 100 videos on YouTube. Facts, man. You know, we're going to be live streaming. We're going to be live streaming on release that night. So at midnight, we'll probably have a stream up leading up until midnight while we're talking about it, and then just go right into it because there's going to be a ton more news. You already know we're going to be here. All the damn badges, a Space Jam out there. Big facts. Bring back inside, balance outside. Remember that, man? Yeah, that's 2K16 days. I had a balanced point guard. And it was so simple and it was so fun and it did work. I took that balanced point guard to Legend 3. Fun times. Yeah, that's comedy. Well, maybe as far as animations, you can unlock them in seasons, so people might grind for better animations. Yeah. What's this? I play on PS5, Tyquil. How is LeBron the best player in the world being a point forward and the build is trash in the game? It don't make sense. I mean, some key for you know why it's trash? Because they got rid of the mid range. You know, to me, a point forward, as far as 2K is concerned, maybe not a point forward IRL, but you guys let me know what you think. But a point forward build has elite dribbling. He's not gonna have so much, like he's not gonna be, he shouldn't, at least in my opinion, be a deep range type of shooter. He has elite dribbling to get past a defender, force a double team, great passing to dish off to an open man, whether that's an alley-oop or a corner three-point shot. But one of the key aspects that bring a point forward together is decent finishing, but an elite mid-range shot. That's like key for a point. An okay wide open three-point shot, an elite mid-range shot, decent finishing, great dribbling, great passing. Point forward. I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about that. Like, that's how I would imagine a point forward, but being that they eliminate the whole mid-range shot, that eliminates half the game of a point forward. And I don't know. It just doesn't work. But they weaken those areas. Exactly. They weak those areas. Point forward builds should be one of the best builds in the game. And they used to be. They used to be a really good build. Used to be unstoppable builds. You see a point forward, like, damn. It's like, man, them builds used to go crazy. But this when 2K, some aspects of 2K that I didn't like, where you had a playmaker build like that, shooting threes like a sharpshooter. And that was too tough. I'm going to do top creators evaluate 2K22 videos. I'm staying true to not pre-ordering. Yes, sir. It's not a bad idea. I pre-ordered already. I ended up getting the cross-gen bundle, and I'm just gonna get purchase VC. And I noticed that you end up saving. And good defense. Yeah, on the defensive end, yeah, point forwards would have good defense. Taller player. Do you think strength is gonna matter in builds? I think they're gonna make strength matter. It's a little difficult to say. I hope they make. I think they are, because they're trying to. If they're considering balance, if you know, like Mike Wang said, he had a 7-footer that was more dominant, noticeably more dominant out there. So I think they're gonna factor in strength. And I think when you consider tougher defense, like tougher interior defense, and better interior defense and better perimeter shot contests and things, I think they're gonna factor in strength into that equation. So it's possible that they could be focusing on strength. But we'll see. We'll see how those dynamics work, because we don't even know yet how the player build is gonna be. So we'll see. Hey, what's up, Metal Mint? To be better this year. Bill shouldn't be able to get 95 dunk and a 95 three-pointer. I don't mind if they switch that at all. I don't mind that at all, classic style. I think a way to balance that is you balance the amount of speed that they can get. If a player can get, and I feel just like you, a player should not have a 95 dunk and a 95 three-point shot. But if they were going to balance that out in any way, if they wanted to give a player a 95 dunk and a 95 three, then you minimize their speed. So they may be able to finish well, but they don't have the speed to build up the momentum to beat the defender. In other words, it gives the defense at least the ability to keep up with them, whether they're shooting or driving. Definitely something. You know, it's so easy to to take these things. I don't know. I don't know if it's easy to put them into action, but it's like you said, you know, nobody really wants to see a 9. Players like the idea of having a 95-3 and a 95 dunk, but it's not really good for when you consider like diversity in builds. So it ends up hurting it long term. Hey, appreciate the follow nationwide. Post scorers are gonna be OP. Yeah, look, it's looking like it. Zero handle too. Word. Zero handle. Add defensive 3 seconds because slashing builds were useless when defenders can't paint. Definitely need to add. Definitely need to appreciate the host. Kobe Best. We will see more dominant bigs in 2K21. Oh, will we see more dominant bigs in 2K22? Switch to small forward, but I would love to make a 6'11. I would love to make a 6'11 as well. A 6'11, 7 foot. They're saying that they are going to be more. They're saying that bigs are going to be more dominant, but the reason behind them saying they're going to be more dominant is that they're providing smaller guards with better shooting attributes, better dribbling animations, and noticeable difference in speed. So they think that a good portion of the community is going to lean towards smaller guards, which will in turn make bigger players more dominant, like grabbing boards and getting blocks. So we don't yet know. I would love to see the player attributes to see how they was able to get 16. Yeah, facts, right? Big facts, Bake. How you was able to get all those badges? Why is that looking like such a goated bad? I mean, like such a goated build. That's facts, though. Why is that build looking crazy like that? Barely any weakness. I want to see the attributes as well on that build. Hopefully it's coming, because that build looked like it was going to be really decent. Yeah, 78 badges total. That was a 78 badge build. It's like, nah, why you, the first build that you showcase is a 78 badge build? It's like, what type of year we looking? What type of year? Do I read super chat? Did I get a super chat? I don't think I got a super chat yet. I would have probably got a notification. I try to read the whole chat. I always appreciate super chats, but it's not. I try to stay connected. Super chat if you like just trying to support us, but I really try to read through the chat. I always, if it's your first time here, I'm always trying to stay connected with the community. That's what live streams are about. Creating a more intimate environment with your, with your audience. Somebody already got the game. What? They removed relay. Did I miss comments? So yeah, I'm gonna be broke. Making a 7 foot again, and we'll probably make it work. It probably will. I sent my super chat. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't got any notifications for super chat. Yeah, I would have had my notification. It's tough to read through hundreds of comments rolling through. Oh, Mr. Tag, he had super chat at $4.99, so why didn't I see it? Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Tag. Here we go. Let me see. Here we go. I see it. I see it. Mr. Tag applied for. Love the content, news, and hard work. Keep it up. Why didn't I get a notification? I must have not put it on. I'm so sorry about that, Mr. Tag. Thanks so much for the super chat, the $4.99 super chat. And Bad Boys sent it too. My 4 Bad Boys. What's good, All City? How do you feel about 2K14? Should it be playing stadiums, pro-ams? Hey, appreciate the super chats, man. I think 2K14 was a classic. But and stadiums would be dope. I appreciate the love and support, man. I really appreciate what you guys do out there because it's really selfless to just super chat like that. It just means a lot. It's humbling. But I appreciate that, man. I was asking how do you feel about 2K14? 2K14 was a pretty dope year as well. 2K16 takes the cake for me. But you had, 2K11, you had 2K14, 15, 2K14, 15, 16. They had, some bills that were overpowered and some greens that were just going crazy, some shooters, but fun years, fun was there. As a consumer, I feel like we deserve a good game this year. I feel the same way, bro. I appreciate you too. I'm digging the discussion stream. Yeah, we out here, man. Much love to you too, Austin. But yeah, we out here, RJ. Green's Cage. All City. That badge page does not represent NBA because the W don't have driving or standing dunks. So the W will get more shooting naturally. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. That's interesting, Green's Cage. That's hella interesting. I can see that. I can see them getting more shooting naturally. 14, 15, 16, 17. But you see how many years that it was in a row that we had fun gameplay mechanics? Current gen and next gen. $4.99. It's all good. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Tag. Apply for $4.99. It's all good. Just listening, playing some Destiny. Big year. Let's go. Hey, City, you keep. That's why you get much deserved love. I appreciate that, man. Oh yeah. Shout out to Mr. Hurst. Yeah, we try to keep it all the way 100, man. I'm a gamer first. I enjoyed 2K. This year was just a disappointment, and we try to do the best with what we got. And it was a tough year as a content creator because I didn't enjoy the gameplay for 2K21, and I'm just fortunate and grateful to see how the year's ending off and how 2K22 is finna start off for us. It's just nice to see things come full circle and staying consistent and watching it happen, because I think a lot of people that are connected with us know that our work ethic is second to none. We try and keep our work ethic there as far as what we're involved in, and we just keep pushing. Tough times, good times, we keep pushing the same way. We just keep doing it. Hey, greetings from Serbia. Hey, appreciate you, Lord Infamous. Shout out to the homie from Serbia. Why can't Brittany dunk in NBA 2K? I wish I knew. I don't play the W. They should bring back Park Jumper, Shot Tester. Well, are you good at the game? I was a legend in 2K20. 2K21, I have hundreds upon hundreds of clips. But 2K21 was not an enjoyable year for me. It was like a watered down version of 2K. So I don't mind. And I did have a 70+ win percentage. So I think I was fairly decent, but it was not a game that I invested too much into to say like I was super good at it. And you are building an awesome community. We do our best, man. Hey, if you guys don't know, I think we just hit 55,500 members in our Discord. So we have a great gaming community within our Discord. Non-toxic, only positive vibes. If you ain't on that same time, don't even bother joining. But if you about good vibes, non-toxic, then join our Discord, man. There's always room for good people. The wait for 22 news was longer than expected. It was hella longer than expected. I can't wait to tell all these trash TikTok kids they made 2K. Yeah, they It's gonna be different, man. It's gonna be really different. I think 2K21 really, I think it really catered to the casual gamer, the gamer that's never played basketball before in their life, never probably don't go outside. If it catered, and I'm not knocking everybody, I'm not knocking everybody. If you have fun on 2K21, so be it. I'm sure you had some good times, but I'm just talking about the overarching experience that was 2K21. I think it rewarded poor gameplay, and it rewarded poor gameplay decisions. And being that that was the case, I think that's gonna, if the change that 2K says is gonna happen for 2K22 comes to fruition, then a lot of players that were great on 2K21 are gonna be highly disappointed with 2K22. At least that's what I think is gonna happen. Appreciate the super chats, man. I'm waiting to see the builder. I can't wait to see the builder either. 189 in the chat. Go crazy. I think there needs to be more game channels in the Discord. Get more variety and more people. Yeah, it's mainly 2K. I don't want to expand. Unless I'm able to give knowledge on it, I would create more channels. Unless I'm playing it. Like when I was playing Warzone, we created a Warzone channel. But I wouldn't want a community in there that about a game that I know nothing about. So, and I've been trying out new games. Like I can't wait for Horizon Forbidden West. I've been trying out new games. We'll see. As I grow in gaming and playing new things that next gen has to offer, we'll definitely expand that Discord. Yeah, adding Call of Duty did make a big impact on the community. We had a lot of Call of Duty players come in, and Call of Duty was huge. Warzone playing, being that we added the Warzone room, it was huge. But you guys got to understand that it's something like 99% come from either TikTok or our YouTube channel. And this is when I check my stats. So 99% of the members that join Discord come from TikTok or YouTube. And my content on TikTok and YouTube is based off 2K. So that's how that happens. What is more important to a comp player? Drippy face scan or black tats up to the neck? I think the black tats up to the neck is gonna die off over the next couple of years, and it's probably gonna be something like a drippy face. Even drippy face scans are getting old already. I don't know. There may be something new. Don't make that game anywhere near 21. 12 days to 20. Bayou, what about you? It's good. It's hard to trust devs when they're money-hungry publishers. That's a great way to put it. I love the thought you put into that statement. Shout out to Blackness. It's hard to trust devs under money-hungry publishers. And the 2K cares more about their stock market investors, not the gamer consumers that put them in the position of success. Well thought out statement. I've talked about this in the past. A lot of people like to complain to the developers, but I think the developers have their hands tied to a certain extent. When you're dealing with such a huge company like 2K and you have investors, and you have this marketing scheme, and you want to make sure you're hitting these key points and releasing things at the exact right time. Goes to show, let's talk about Mike Wang deleting his tweets. The 2K community is patiently waiting for information. Mike Wang drops, he goes on a Twitter raid and just drops a bunch of bombshells. And he was forced to delete all those tweets. Now, there's the head of development. And I've often referred to the development team. And I'm not trying to belittle them in any way. But something like IT, your IT department, if you ever worked for a corporate office, you have an IT department, you know, they're not looked at in the highest regard, even though they do help keep systems running. I think the dev team has their hands tied in that sort of way, where you got someone like Ronnie 2K running amok, getting his like face put on billboards, but then the people who are responsible for making the game are like very limited in their creativity. It's like their creativity has to take a back burner to sales and marketing, and it has to meet with that idea before meeting with what could potentially make the consumer happy. I think that was perfectly said. That statement was perfectly said. Hey, all right, Vice, we'll catch up with you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. I'm gonna play both. I'm gonna start on next gen, and then we'll see what next gen has to offer. And depending, because I definitely want to get on current gen as well, you know. And I imagine within the first week we'll cycle from current to next. But there's gonna be one, if they're both super dope games, then I'll cycle back and forth. But I wanna invest a little bit more time in one over the other, so that way I can get a better idea of what's happening, and not be stretched too thin between the two games. Get a good. It's hard to see, because like in 2K21, if in 2K21 next gen, I was getting so many highlights, and I was so caught up in the beginning of the year of how good it felt to get those canned, overpowered contact dunk animations, that if I was stretched in between two games, I would have not seen how watered down. I wouldn't notice how watered down it is, and how like unrealistic it was. And I would have thought that I was just goated catching all these contact dunks. You know what I'm saying? So I want to kind of invest a little bit of time into each game. The first week we'll go back and forth, and then maybe we'll spend 1 week on one and the next week on another, and then from there pick one to kind of devote a little more time into. I think next gen is going to be the way better. It's possible. I have a feeling current gen, it's hard to say. Appreciate the sub, Jam Vincent. Speak on Pro-Am Rec. Would love to hear what you think they're going to add. DJ Moo, appreciate you coming through. Pro-Am and Rec, man. Pro-Am and Rec. Pro-Am needs to work. That's one. Pro-Am needs to work. They're putting a lot of emphasis on matchmaking this year. So Pro-Am just needs to function properly. When I hit Pro, I don't want to hit Pro 5 times and continuously reset my team after I've done created a logo, created an arena, created jerseys. I got to reset my team because I'm unable to find opponents. So Pro-Am has to work. And then the rec center, they need to cycle new jerseys. How about you take every like all these designers for apparel that you have, and have them create jerseys for rec center that cycle through away and home. You know what I'm saying? Like there needs to be different. And we need crowds. Like the joints need to be lively. When you walk into the rec center, it needs to be lively. I don't want to hear no peaceful, quiet rec center. It's never like that when I was growing up. It was always loud, and we didn't even have like ton of crowds. But Pro-Am needs to be lively. Rec needs to be lively. Similar to the way you walk into an NBA game, it needs to be something like that. When you walk into an NBA game for my career, it needs to be something like that. You really don't want to have to play current. I'm interested in current gen because of the they now mentioned, so you're going to Egypt, you're going to Iceland, and they now mention you'll be playing on Caribbean islands. So I'm interested in seeing that stuff. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with players being able to do it all, but make defense matter. That's how I feel. And I think when we was talking about the Czar, the developer who's now taking over defense for 2K, he mentioned, if you like what I did on offense, then you're gonna love what I'm going to do with defense. So if he's responsible for offense, which I agree with as well, I would love to see this type of offense with just as aggressive defense. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a chess match. So I would love to see the same thing. Should they make Park 1v1 and 5v5? Give matchmaking all the options they can get. If you want to go into matchmaking 5v5, go into matchmaking 5v5. You don't need to put the courts out there. Leave the courts as they are, 3v3, 2v2, and give matchmaking options for 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, 5v5. Yeah, that's how I see it. Even 21. Give 21 an option in matchmaking. Give horse an option for matchmaking. Give options. Options that work. Options that are fun. Meta position and height, we don't yet know right now. It looks like we're leaning towards smaller guards being the meta position, and the height is going to probably be around 6'3", 6'4" from what we're used to in previous versions of 2K. But we just don't know yet. We don't know yet. Mike Wang said smaller guards are going to be it, but we got to know the difference between a 6-foot guard and, it usually lies, the way they determine meta builds for the year usually is the that where your animations unlock, how effective are the animations that they unlock, the build that could unlock those animations, and the speed. And it has to be a noticeable speed. Where that speed breaks, like where it's not nearly as noticeable, that's where the build stops. And it's like, well, we go this build, we go this height to this height, and you'll have the same speed. And that's how usually they come up with. That's like usually the formula for the meta build. So you got your 3-point shooting attribute. You just need a little bit of finishing. But usually the community comes up with a decent finishing, lights out shooting, great dribbling, and your meta starts. And that speed, the speed is the key behind all of that. 20 had good defense as well. How do you play Rec or Pro-Am on a cruise ship? Well, that could happen. That could happen. Cruise ship, they're considering something really big. Not to say that it's not. I don't know if it's there or not, but cruise ships are really big, and they could easily have a basketball court on there. Do you get any VC for cross-gen bundle? No VC for cross-gen bundle. Nope. That's the only difference between the cross-gen bundle and the 75th anniversary edition is the 100K VC. Love how you're bringing a lot into the community and letting us know what to expect. Hell yeah, Infamous, we out here. When we go, the last few times we've gone live, although I do like to play the game, but the last few times we've gone live is because I've gathered a bunch of information and we're just like, yo, let's talk about this. We only got a couple weeks till the game drops. Let's talk about it. And it seems like people like the idea, so we just keep it going. Have crowds for Rec and Pro-Am. Yeah, we talked about that Emo Panda earlier, if strength is going to matter. And I think from them, for them considering balancing out these positions, I think they're probably going to lean towards strength mattering. And it might become a factor for 2K22. I've been talking to people about why they haven't fixed certain dribble moves. The in and out needs to be a separate move, and somehow it's not recorded correctly. What I don't. Try to be more specific in what you're referring to. Like the in and out needs to be a separate move. Somehow it's not recorded correctly. Even if strength matters, most will make 160-pound bills. It depends. It's hard because It's true. You know, I've never really leaned towards strength. I lean more towards speed, and speed is always killed. Consistently, year after year, speed is killed. Interior defense block attributes need to matter. The week we finally get a game, like last year, have crowds for park. Do we get 100K for both games? Nope. There's 100K for, and you got to make the decision on where you want to spend that 100K on current gen or next gen. The reason why we got 200K last year is because they were released at different times. So you had current gen first, and then a few months later we got next gen, and they gave us 100K for both, because we would have spent, the 100K already in current gen. So this year, being that we're getting them out at the same time, they're only giving you 100K, and you got to make a decision on where you want to spend that 100K, which is kind of lame, but it's like they forget. A lot of moves, for example, like holding right, you hesitate the in and out, and you could just do it when you want. It's fake hidden within the animation. I feel what you're saying. Yeah, no, you're right. And I noticed the same thing because I do a lot of practicing, and there was something off. I felt the same thing you felt. There was something off, and it just doesn't feel as fluid as it used to feel. And hopefully they get into these animations and they start fixing these little minor details that make things just feel like you're not fully in control of what's happening. If you pre-order the $100 edition, do we get current gen? Yep. You get both games. You get both games for the cross gen and the $100 version, the Legend Edition, the 75th anniversary. The only difference between the two is the 100K BC. Cross gen is 80, and the 75th is $100. Make driving to the basket not so easy. I feel big should be versatile. AD, Joel, Towns, traditional bigs should be great mid-range. If they brought the mid-range back into the game, things will open up. I remember not too long ago, we would have like a big that couldn't really shoot, but had a decent, like he couldn't hit the threes, but he would have a decent mid-range. So we'll have him just set up between the low block and the 3-point line. And that was just a good spot. And mid-ranges used to matter. Or you have somebody set up at the foul line where mid-ranges used to matter. Y2K eliminate the mid-range game? I don't get it. It's such a key aspect of offense. And it just goes to show how lost they are, where a ton of plays are created for. We understand that basketball is evolving. I get that basketball is evolving, but in sports, like in basketball, the mid-range is still a thing. Like you can't completely eliminate the mid-range because it's still a thing. And when you eliminate the mid-range, you're eliminating shot creating, and that's terrible. Also, and the mid-range is broken. You can never just do a simple pull-up like real life or something. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, not automatic. I don't want to see the mid-range because everyone can dunk. No need for a mid-range. But I like the finesse of a mid-range. I like the idea of finessing. The courts used to, what I mean to say is, not only did they eliminate the mid-range, and it's like you said, everyone could dunk, but it's almost like they made the court smaller so there's no room for a mid-range. That's how I remember in 2K it feeling like you were taking like a deep mid-range, and you felt the distance between the lines in the paint and the 3-point line. You could be like 2 steps off. You felt your distance. You felt it was a decent mid-range shot. And if you took 3 or 4 steps back right before the 3-point line, you felt it was a nice long mid-range shot. They eliminated a lot when they eliminated the mid-range. The teardrop option is not there anymore. There's certain plays you can't really get into, which we used to run these plays to set up for mid-range, and now they're no longer options. It's like you said, everybody could dunk. It's no use in going for the mid-range, but I love the finesse and I love the strategy behind a mid-range game. Not that I only want mid-range, not that I only want that, but I love the idea of having options. But I don't think the 2K community complains about it. I don't think they ever complained about a mid-range. They complained about limitless range fading 3-point shots. Behind in 2K21, current gen, in the beginning of the year, it was a screen, speed boost glitch into a leaning fade from limitless range. That's something to complain about. So when they eliminate the shot creator or the leaning shots, now you eliminate any potential for shooting a leaner mid-range. Why couldn't we just stop current gen instead of doing a little stupid hezzy? Cages getting lame. They should have made it jumping world if they were gonna put cages. It looks like they're bringing trampolines back to current gen. It also helps to take bigs out of the paint. Thank you. That's why I loved the mid-range. You're exactly right. You got, when you play 2K21 on current gen, that's what you have. You have a bunch of, it's ridiculous. That's why they need that 3 seconds. Because when I went back to 2K21 current gen this year, it is really bad to see a center just walk on the inbound, walk straight back. It is really discouraging to see that, because there's no way that I could play like that ever. You see the center walk straight back into the paint and literally stand there. No budge left, no budge right, no, literally stand right there and wait for somebody to drive. No help if there's a screen, no nothing, just stand right there. And that's why the mid-range always needs to be an option, to eliminate that idea that someone could just sit in the paint like that. It's crazy. You're gonna react to 2K22 gameplay live? Yeah, we're gonna be on there. We're gonna be on it live. Yeah, the second it drops, we're gonna be on there. There's nothing worse than that, right, Bake? There's nothing worse than that. They just stay in the paint all day. I mean, I've never seen nothing. I've never seen nothing like that. Off the inbound, turn around, take a few steps back and stay right there. I said, oh, hell no. I said, I'm off 2K21 current gen. I tried going back. It was fun for a few days, and then it got redundant. Same builds, lack of diversity in builds. Same game every game. Speed boost glitching, point guards, and glass cleaning finishers. Anthony Gonzalez, let's run. I'm not finna run tonight. The animations are still bad, and what's worse is probably dunks and defense. Not all physicals matter. It would be nice if they make physicals matter. If you have a high enough strength, yeah, they do need to make if they're gonna add physicals, they need to. What up, Monte? They need to make them matter. The Mamba court was a beautiful waste. You're exactly right. Now you have a Mamba court, you put it in the middle of nowhere. It was such a disappointment. I vented about that before. It was such a disappointment. It was a beautifully set up court. I think the All City family and Chucho and him hosting like Mamba Court events, we probably brought that court to life more than a lot of other people could have, because we used to have these little games on the Mamba Court. But it was a beautiful court that it just went to waste. Didn't have 3 seconds in the key, and the big would just camp there. Literally just gotta run a paint beast and 2 play shots in current gen. Shooting 3 points easy on current gen 21. They should replace cages with house of hoops. Remember back when 2K Park didn't have 3 seconds in the key? I was 36 win rate at the beginning. After learning the fade 3-point with Hall of Fame blinders, my rating went up to 88%. I think 3 should be harder to create chess match game style. Appreciate it. That's facts. I'm going to be starting on next gen, and I do want to check out current gen because I do want to see those like different locales that the cruise ship will be traveling to. I think 3 should be harder. They're supposed to be harder. They're supposed to be harder this year. They say that you don't need as high a 3-point action. Is it going to be based? It looks like it's going to be based off shot selection. So they're ramping up the perimeter shot contest. So being that they're ramping that up, it should be more difficult for you to shoot contested shots, but your wide open shots should be rewarded. So it's going to be hopefully more so about, as a team, creating the open shot opportunity to knock it down. Mike Wang did say you're not going to have to high as a 3-point attribute or 3-point rating as like this current year to knock down your shots, but it's going to be based on shot selection because they are ramping up the defense. So if it looks like if you're open, you're going to knock down your shots as long as you're not shooting like really poor timing. But if you're making poor shot selection like a lot of players on 21, then you're probably going to be missing a lot of your shots. Hopefully that's the case. We need a new shot system with a tweak of a new shot art system. Roscoe, that would be fire. Lower 3-ball. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to lean towards that lower 3-ball. KC, I swear 3 count is off times in rec. Yeah, it'd be like a 15 count in the paint. The rec center be having like a 15 count. It's wild, man. I'm like, I don't know how many times I said this year, that's not 3 seconds. How many times did I have to say this year, yo, that's not 3 seconds? I hope they don't make it where only short players get great shooting attributes. That's what it's looking like, bro. I think, well, I don't think they're going to have great shooting attributes. Like short players are going to have great shooting attributes. But being that they said you're not going to need as high a shooting attribute to be a perimeter shooting threat, then you may not need to have like great shooting attributes, but a smaller player is going to have those attributes really high but you're not going to need them really high. That's the thing. Unless you're that point guard. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. At least that's what they look like they're leaning towards. The higher rated shooters are going to have to be shorter players with the shorter arms. But is it going to be necessary is the key. That's going to be like the main key right there. You know how we had lockdown shooting insane? You remember with the P-locks shooting lights out like sharpshooters? We don't know if that's going to be necessary. Well, the Curry slide is going to be locked in season. So, I like that. I don't mind the idea of the Curry slide. I don't like what it does to defense. I don't like being stuck in the mud. That's what they just need to fix. They just need to fix the idea that the defender is getting stunned by a Curry slide. Because you could read the Curry slide, but for some reason your defender won't move. While you're holding your stick to go a particular direction, your defender just won't move. So they just need to fix that. They fix that aspect and everything is good. And then it becomes about misdirection, forcing the defender to go one way while you go another. You hate Curry slides? Yeah, I hate what Curry slides do to defenders. We're going to have a dinosaur arm point guard. We probably are going to have dinosaur arm point guards again. I can see that happening. I can see that happening easy. Well, we're gonna do it, man. No canned animations for sure. We are 2 hours into our live stream. I like to cut it off at 2 hours. Shout out to the 200 in the stream. I appreciate y'all so much. Saturday night vibes, nothing but good vibes, man. Great energy in here. The second we get news, we relay that information. We're gonna do more live streams like this, talking about any information that they release on a daily basis. I'm dropping videos on TikTok, just quick cuts of like not cutting up the live stream, but if I find information, I just drop a TikTok video on there because it's quick 60 seconds that I could cover a lot of 2K news. And I'm always digging and searching for 2K information. So and I love these live streams. I love talking about it, creating dialogue with you guys. It's super dope. And we're gonna do more. We got a ton more information coming out next week, and then the week after, and then it's 2K22, and we'll be live streaming that night on release. I hope you guys all have a safe and blessed rest of your night, a safe and blessed rest of your weekend. Y'all be easy.